What's going on, guys? MMA Island team. We got Zach, we got me, Michael, and we got the fight picks. We got a good one in the featherweight division. TJ Downtown Brown taking on Danny, the Colombian Warrior, Chavez. We'll pass it on to Zach to start the pick.
First of all, let me just say I am incredibly offended you didn't say it downtown, TJ Brown, how it's meant to be said, you
I
absolute
always mess
heathen.
up on those. When I'm reading it, and it's even listed like this on here, but whatever. But yeah, sorry, downtown TJ Brown and Danny the Colombian Warrior, or is it the Colombian Warrior Danny Chavez? But
Well, it doesn't matter because it doesn't flow as nicely as downtown TJ Brown. Now let's talk about downtown TJ Brown. Now you may know of his main training partner, certain Thug Nasty Bryce Mitchell. And if you train with Thug Nasty Bryce Mitchell, that means you are going to be one hell of a ground game machine. Turns out that is exactly what TJ Brown is. We watched his first fight in the UFC against Jordan Griffin. And I'm a big fan of Jordan Griffin. I think he's very good. He's not going to go like huge. He's not going to be a top 15 fighter, but I think he's a solid gatekeeper for like if you can start progressing in the UFC. And TJ Brown, let's not forget, he was dominating Jordan Griffin. He was picking him up, putting him down at will. I think he took him down so many times. And it took this fluky submission, it was a guillotine finished from side control. You never see that. When I interviewed Jordan Griffin, he said, that's not a conventional submission. That's a once-in-a-lifetime submission. And if the man who submitted him is telling you that should tell you certain things. So what we saw from TJ Brown is that he can take you down at will and he will submit you. That is his bread and butter. That's what we know he does well. I mean, he came into the UFC through the Contender Series with an arm triangle. And man, he is so good at that arm triangle choke. You'll watch him once he's in top position. Once TJ Brown gets into top position, he'll transition quickly into that half guard. You'll see that on the ground. He goes from full to half guard almost instantly so he can lock in his arm triangle choke. That is what I would say is his premier submission, because if you get someone on their back, right, that's one of the best submissions you can go to. And Danny the Colombian Warrior Chavez, he is making his UFC debut in this fight. And I'll just say, I don't think there is a chance that he wins. He might have the advantage on the feet. I think he might have the advantage on the feet. I don't think he might. I'm not saying it's definitive though. But what really stands out to me is that the level of ground game that TJ Brown has over Danny Chavez, I think he's going to take him down at will and submit him. I won't say he's my lock of the night, but he's a pretty high confidence pick for me.
Well, as I've said before, cue the record scratch because I'm going with Danny Chavez in this one.
Pause.
Call me crazy because just honestly, from what I've been seeing about TJ Brown and obviously like it was a very, very back and forth fight, you could say to the least, with Jordan Griffin. Man, this is the thing. When you look at Danny Chavez is a striking beast, at least from the tape that I've seen. And it's crazy to think that this dude started off with no knockouts, and when he was 7-3, he had the submission loss to Soares, and then the decision loss to Alec, and then had 3 KO wins in a row. That's not the reason why I'm saying he's a striking beast. Just this dude is fluid, and I think. Looking at TJ Brown, man, the thing is with TJ Brown is that if he's going to win, he's going to have to win by submitting him or finishing him. And looking at his fights, out of 21 of his fights, 2 of them have went the distance. So it's looking at who do you think is going to finish who. And I'm not saying that Chavez is totally strung away from getting submitted. There's no chance he gets submitted. I think Brown has a very high chance of submitting him, but I also think Chavez has a good chance of knocking him out. We've seen downtown TJ Brown get knocked out before, 3 times actually, submitted 3 times as well. So obviously these are spread out throughout his career, and some of these are dating back to 2013. But I'm just looking at where these guys are sort of not necessarily vulnerable, but just kind of showing where their skills are, and looking at who can win by decision. That's came to me, for me at least, kind of something I value a little bit more in MMA is how far these people can go. And this guy like Chavez has been to the 5th round 2 times in his career. Obviously this isn't a 5-round fight, but from what I've seen from tape, from what I've seen from, obviously he's fought 2 times in the 5th round. he can go the distance. He can fight for a long period of time. He's been to the three rounds multiple times. Whereas in downtown TJ Brown has kind of had a lot of first round stoppages, KOs, and even gotten KO'd back in 2018. So not necessarily the highest of confidence for me on this one again. Just kind of taking a chance here with Chavez, because from what I saw on his watching his tape, is this dude can strike, and this dude can also go the distance. And that's another thing, like as I mentioned, I value a lot more in MMA is how these guys can go the distance. If there are guys who are just, you need to absolutely finish this guy or you have no chance of going the distance and beating him, you kind of got to take that into play a little bit. And I think that's what I'm doing here with Chavez. The UFC calculator also has this one very close. Passing it to that, it's got Chavez at a 51.9% chance. Like I said, man, just looking at what we've seen from Chavez. Chavez has won decisions, like he's won 7 decisions. He started off 7-3 with all of his fights coming by decision, and having these 3 KOs in a row, man. He fought last month, July 18th, and got a KO victory in the first round. He's got to step up, man, in downtown TJ Brown here, but I don't know, man. I'm taking a shot with this one. I'm going to be going with who I assume is the underdog in Chavez. We got a disagreement. We need you guys to break the tie, so make sure you guys are letting us know what you guys have. I assume a lot of you have downtown TJ Brown taking this one, and ever since Zach pointed to me the proper way to say the name, I can't stop saying it, because you're right. It does flow very well.
Very well.
But so I will leave it to the fight. I will leave it to you guys to let me know your thoughts in the comments. And just make sure you guys are showing some support on the video, liking the video, subscribing to the channel. We're doing these fight picks every week, man. We're not going to miss a fight, at least for the near future. I don't think we will, man. No. So if you're expecting us to go, don't expect it too much, because it ain't going to happen. So, like I said, show your love. We'll see you in the next video.